I am not here to waste your time reading over the ability screen. Nah, these are more advanced tips and tricks for healers, under the assumption you already have a solid foundation of knowledge about playing support characters. Check this out. Cloak and Dagger has one of the highest pick rates, yet one of the lowest win rates. Even Rocket's win rate is much higher. So what the hell's going on here? Is Cloak a trash hero? Or are the players using this character actually trash themselves? Well, either way, we're gonna fix that with this video.
Okay.
So let's jump right into it. You may already know that Magneto's ultimate is a straight counter to Cloak and Dagger's ult. In those brief moments where Cloak pauses for a second in between dashes, that gives Magneto a great opportunity to target Cloak and blast their cheeks off. Easy money. However, I found a beautiful counter tech that may prevent this. So before activating your ultimate, use your cloaking skill to ascend upwards. Then you perform your ult while flying in the sky. This will lay a path down in the exact same way, but makes it more difficult for Magneto to land his shot. This is not guaranteed to save your life, but it can help. As the invisible shorty, you can use your force push to knock ultimates away, like Doctor Strange or Scarlet Witch or Iron Man. You can also use your shield to block ultimates as well. Even if the ultimate deals more than 300 damage, their explosions are only one attack. Her shield might be the most important tool in her kit. Now, I'm sure you already know that it slowly regenerates health over time for anybody within 3 meters of it, even yourself. But the thing is, that first 50 health is guaranteed the moment you activate the shield. So if multiple allies are running and jumping along, they will receive 50 health each and every time you pop that shield up. What you can do is combine the shield with your primary heals, which is 80 health. So you combine that 80 with the 50 health from the shield, and that's a swift 130 health combo. Boom. Primary shield, 130 health each time. Everyone keeps giving tips about where you can leave it, and yeah, you can leave it up in a stationary position if it's the perfect spot, like where the bulk of your team can utilize it for healing. However, you really want to be placing it and retracting it. It gives me fucking cancer watching people leave the shield behind. It may not seem important, but it is, because this will help maximize effectiveness. I mean, think, it's not just about healing, it's also about blocking damage, like a tank shield. Plus, using the shield to block incoming damage will charge your ultimate as well. And you always gotta be thinking about how you can charge your ultimate as fast as possible. Her psionic vortex is great for attacking flying enemies. Iron Man or Storm, you shoot it and explode it in their face, like I did to your grandma last night. I've heard different ways to combo her skills, but I'm fairly certain you should use her psionic vortex first, and then you pull. This way, you drop the vortex and pull the enemy into the center of the vortex that's already active, forcing them to then walk back through the vortex in order to retreat in the direction they need to escape. If you pull first and then vortex, they're going to walk out of it just like 1 second later. So if you can, you want to drop the vortex and then pull them into it. Loki is great on defense, setting up your clones to hold an objective. Well, this map here in particular has a fantastic spot to place your clones, up here. Not only do these clones have visibility of the entire battlefield, but also they are so far away that even if the enemy sees them and tries to destroy them, 90% of heroes couldn't reach that far with their attacks, even if they tried. Almost nobody has that long range. Sometimes one of the best places to drop a couple clones is right on the cart. Yes, it's quite obvious to the enemy, but you'll have clear and powerful shots on the entire front lines for healing and attacking. So if you're pushing forwards, preparing for the next fight, you can plop your clones right on the cart. One of the best ultimates in the game is Loki's. However, its main downfall is the copying itself. It can be a real kick in the nuts if you copy the wrong hero, but thankfully I have 2 tips that can help. First, go into settings and turn on double confirmation for God of Mischief. Now when you go to copy, a little icon will show above that hero, allowing you to confirm it before fully copying. This way you won't ever copy the wrong hero again. Tip number 2, when you want to use your ultimate, activate your invisibility. This will allow you to traverse the battlefield safely and really hone in on your target, ensuring you copy the correct hero that you want. However, to be honest, the most optimal situation for you as Loki would be to hang near your fellow support as often as possible. So if you need to activate a support ultimate quickly, your ally healer will be close by, available to steal. Like in this clip here, the enemy Storm is activating her ultimate. So thankfully, Loki is right next to his ally Cloak, allowing him to immediately copy Cloak's ultimate. He drops it down, saving the team from the wrath of Storm's lethal cheek-clapping tornado. So as Loki, try to stick by an ally support. Now another tip for Loki's clones, remember his invisibility skill replaces you with another clone. Sometimes I'll use it simply to drop another clone on the field if I need to increase the strength of my shots right now. Like if I need extra healing or extra damage immediately in that moment, you can use your invisibility skill. You must remember how crucial a support ultimate can be for clutching a tense battle. If you know the upcoming fight is extremely important, like it's overtime, you gotta stop them right here and now or you will lose, then you as the support must not die before activating your ultimate, or else your team is screwed. I mean, check out this situation. This invisible woman royally fucked up in my opinion. So here she is, so close to achieving her ultimate, 80-90%. All she needs to do is survive for a few more seconds, but instead she's dead smack in the center of the fight. Granted, she probably jumped on the cart to evade the wretched squirrel ultimate. But still, she could have played back here a little bit, maybe found cover behind this police car, or further back in this room down there, where you can still heal your team, but won't get smoked as easily, because obviously from here, she gets hit by the squirrel and is going to die. But even now, she finally has the ultimate. I'm thinking, drop it, drop it, drop it! Nope, too late. Magneto's already dead, so it's not even worth it at this point. If she had played it safe and dropped that ultimate literally 1 second earlier, Magneto would have survived because he just died that moment. So now you got both your tanks, both your healers. The enemy already used all their ultimates, so y'all have got the advantage and possibly could have won the fight. But from here, they end up losing the game shortly after. So this one mistake, not playing it more safely, potentially cost them the game. As a support in times like these, charging your ultimate is the priority. Now, if the enemy uses a support ultimate, you can use yours to counter it. Simple strategy, but one pro gamer move. It's a little risky, but worth it. You can get the advantage by waiting a few seconds before activating your ultimate to counter. Like the enemy's Cloak uses their ultimate, starts dashing around, they're on the attack, but you wait. Just wait, hold it, hold it. Keep an eye on your team's health bars. Don't let them die, because then you're really screwed. If you let one of them die, you'll probably lose the fight. Everyone will scream at you, why'd you wait? Why didn't you use the ultimate, you fucking idiot? They'll kick you off the team, report you for throwing, you'll get banned, never play the game again, start using drugs, rob an old lady, and then you'll end up in jail. Trust me, similar situation happened to me. But if everyone can survive just 2 or 3 seconds, if y'all can endure, then you use yours, boom, your team will have a huge advantage because your ultimate will outlast the enemies. They have executed their attack, they tried and failed. But now it's your turn, baby. You can counter and turn the tides of battle. Here you can see Sue Storm used her ultimate first, but the enemy Cloak waited a couple seconds, and then you can see Cloak using her ult, and that team ended up rolling through and won the fight. It's risky, but can be worth it if done right. This should be a very basic tip, yet even in Grandmaster, we constantly gotta remind people that having 1, 2, or 3 players on the cart makes a drastic difference for how quickly the cart moves. Like look here, the entire team is holding them down at the choke point up there. Which is good, that works, but Rocket stays on the cart to ensure it's moving faster. That right there is vital, man. You could be running train on the enemy, just rolling them the entire game, yet you still might end up at the finish line with barely any time left. Well, that's probably because nobody was on the cart. Remember, it's not about kills, it's not about eliminating the enemy team, it's really all about completing the objective. And by the way, up to 4 players can sit on the cart to move it faster. I think 2 is the sweet spot, like both healers or 1 healer and 1 duelist. It's also why I believe 3 healers is kind of the meta in push the cart modes, because you can have 2 healers just sit on the cart, get that thing moving, while another 3rd healer is up with the team and up on the front lines with the tanks. Alright, now let's jump into Cloak and Dagger. So some people may disagree, but I believe Cloak and Dagger is actually one of the most anti-dive supports there are. So your first and most obvious dive counter tech that people think of is her healing bubble. But this bubble alone is not always sufficient. However, you can survive almost any assault by combining her bubble and her healing darts. When you shoot your darts at anything, ally or enemy, it'll create a little 8-meter AoE radius of healing, 18 health per dart. So if an enemy is trying to clap your cheeks, you can drop your healing bubble and attack them with your darts. The combined healing of both your bubble and the darts AoE is sustainable enough to keep yourself alive through heavy cheek clapping, while dealing a little bit of damage to the enemy. It's not significant, it's only 15 damage per dart. However, the healing is usually sufficient to eat through all your enemy's attacks and survive long enough for you to plan your escape, or for your teammates to come and help you, or whatever. By the way, in case you didn't know, you can support an ally in a 1v1 fight by shooting your darts at the enemy, dealing damage to them, but simultaneously heals your ally in the fight also, because of the darts AoE healing. It's a good way to support an ally actively fighting an enemy. Now, using Invisibility Cloak to rescue your team, like countering big ultimates, countering them is vital and expected of you, so try to predict. Many times you can tell your spidey senses be tingling, and your team may notice a particular enemy looking thirsty to use their ultimate, like Psylocke or especially Doctor Strange, because they usually drop from above into the optimal position to use his ultimate. So if you see an enemy looking sussy baka, that's when you transform into Cloak. Just wait a moment, hold up, try to predict the enemy's ultimate. This can save your entire team. Everyone talks about healing or damage output, but range is a huge factor for every hero. Invisible Woman, for example, only has 30-meter range on her attacks, so she's a support that must play fairly close in the action, like right behind the tanks is best, making her better on close range maps, such as, funny enough, the new map, New York City. Invisible Woman is great to play in the New York City streets. Now, pushing enemies off ledges out of bounds is obvious, but you can also use her pull to drag enemies off the high ground. Like if you see a Moon Knight or Hela or Punisher or Hawkeye, whatever, up above, they got a nice vantage point, thinking shit is sweet, you can pull them right down into the center of your team, and they are going to panic because y'all are probably going to beat the hell out of them. Oh, and take advantage of her invisibility. One cheeky little example is if the enemy has a pesky Penny Parker player, you can go invisible, find Penny's ball sack, and shoot it with your psionic vortex plus your primary attacks, and you'll destroy it fairly quickly. With her ultimate, placing it right on the objective is fine if it's domination, but in push the cart modes, sometimes you should place it a bit further upwards. Don't just drop it right on the cart or drop it like in the back lines. You want to move it up and have your team walk a little forwards to enter the ultimate circle. Because think, when you use an Invisible Woman ult, the enemy's first instinct is to back up, get the hell out of there and regroup, right? So if you drop the ultimate a bit forwards in front of the cart. This gives your team the opportunity to really gain some ground and push the enemy back much more than if you placed it behind the cart. Very often I see Invisible Woman's ult placed way too far back, and it's not giving great value to the team at all. Now, with Rocket, as I showed before, despite all this shit many people give Rocket, he still has a decent win rate. Well, why is that? So listen, Rocket doesn't have great individual healing, like for example Luna Snow. She can take a near-death Vanguard and heal them up to full health almost instantly. Boom. Amazing individual healing. But Rocket can't do that. However, Rocket still drops very high healing numbers, usually the highest in the game, because he is extraordinary at group healing. And that's because even though his orbs only heal 70 health per second, they have a 5-meter radius of effect. Plus, they can heal multiple allies at once. And since Rocket has infinite range, he can sit in the back, pumping out healing orbs, slowly but surely healing the entire team. So that's why Rocket can drop max heals almost every game. However, high-ranking players know that stats are not everything. Trust me, I have the most healing by far almost every fucking game, and we still lose. Yeah, so stats are not everything. In fact, one of the most important aspects of winning a game is ultimates, ult usage. You could have double the kills, double the healing, but if one side is winning the more crucial team fights by coordinating and using your ultimates effectively, then they will win the game. But, well, Rocket doesn't have an amazing ultimate. Now, don't get me wrong, Rocket's ultimate does have value. It boosts 40% damage for 12 seconds. That's a big deal if capitalized on. But the fact is, other support ults like Luna Snow's or Mantis or Invisible Woman, their ultimates are more impactful. So, all this to say, Rocket has a decent win rate, but a not so decent ultimate, which is vital for winning games. So why does he have a good win rate? Well, the very simple answer is Punisher. I guarantee you those high win rates are coming from squads taking advantage of the Punisher and Rocket duo. I mean, we're talking upwards of 250 to 300 damage per second that Punisher can dish out. And that's not even critical hits, that's just body shots. So yeah, this is definitely game changing if taken advantage of. You as the Rocket must drop the device in a position that gives your Punisher a good angle on the enemy team. Now this seems obvious, but too often do I see the Rocket just tossing it out there in a shitty position, making it useless for the Punisher. Oh, and last but certainly not least, Rocket's revives. Every 45 seconds, you can revive a teammate. Every 45 seconds? That's basically one revive per fight, and just one death can turn the tides of battle and start crumbling, leading to your downfall. Now you need to know, this only has a 50-meter radius, so you have to find a location that is within 50 meters of the fight, but is not so obvious where the team can find the beacon and destroy it. Like if the enemy has a Black Panther or a Spider-Man or some diver, you gotta be careful because that Black Panther will find it and destroy it. So maximum efficiency on revives and the Punisher team up is why I believe Rocket has a decent win rate. Alrighty, well, if you have any tips of your own for a healer or support, please drop them down below in the comment section. I thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a fat like on the like button and subscribe for more awesome content. I appreciate you for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Stay golden.